Ugh, you hate to see it. It really blasted the north side of the dome.
I noticed something in the loft area. I was a bit dismayed when I found this after the storm.
Now people are wondering about the underground portion. Are we gonna have issues there?
Yeah, let's check it all out.
Yuvi says, I wanna be on camera. I wanna be on camera. A little bow, a little bow.
Oh.
Should I let her go while we record?
Can we keep an eye on her while we're...
No, probably not.
Okay, maybe not then. She'll be barking though.
She's barking. How's it going, everyone? You're watching the Green Dream Project. Jim here.
And Jessica.
Now, if you are not aware of this, we recently had a huge storm roll in and it destroyed our root cellar. Mostly it was our fault. We had a rainwater harvesting system set up and we didn't have any plan for overflow. So that overflow went straight into the ground by the root cellar and then the walls caved in. But a lot of people have been asking, and they've been concerned. They've been asking, how did the dome hold up during that storm? Is there any damage to that foundation? What happened to the other underground room? Is that suffering the same fate? Is there any water in there? So that's kind of what we want to answer right now.
Yeah, let's check it all out.
Obviously, you know about the root cellar and the damage we have there, but we'll take you and we'll show you actually what was damaged and what wasn't about the earthbag dome. Where do you want to start?
Should we start from the top?
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
There's the offending tote, and then all the water that came out of there probably went straight down right into the root cellar. Ugh, you hate to see it. All right, so what do you want to show the people?
I just want to take a look at the tippy top because I've been putting lime plaster and lime wash up there and a bunch of cob and rocks. And let's see if that really strong storm did anything up there.
All right, what are you seeing, if anything?
As far as I can tell, I don't see any kind of disturbance.
There's no disturbances in the force?
Yeah.
So you got the cob and the rocks up there, and you've also been doing, of course, a lime plaster.
Yeah, I'm kind of working my way down from the top. I have some exposed cob and rocks still kind of in a ring. So I'll do the plaster over that and lime wash, and then I'll just work my way down.
So this has held up really well.
I am seeing in the area where the original cob was, that's been kind of sitting there for a while, there's some exposed little areas of bag.
But of course, that's been put on pretty thick, but it's been wearing down with each rainstorm.
Yeah.
Going into our eaves and into our IBC tote.
Yeah, it's all washing down.
Yeah, right now it is not appropriate for harvesting water that we can use for much else except maybe irrigation. All these areas are up top are starting to wear thin, and so if we get rainstorms, of course these are going to kind of wash out a little bit, and then you'll get some bags exposed. So it's really important that we keep on this, keep going with the cob and the rocks and then the plaster, and then eventually we should be watertight up here. All right, what's up next?
Okay, let's take a look at the lower part of the dome now.
Now those rains, those came from the north. It really blasted the north side of the dome, right?
Yes.
Just because of its placement underneath the board here, it's always going to be prone to washing away.
Yeah, because it's not just the rain that's hitting it from the side, but there's water coming down on top of the board, and then that all kind of gets concentrated into one area and it runs down and it just washes that cob away.
And you've kind of been fixing up these walls as you've been doing the top, right?
Yeah, I started to.
So kind of double duty. You can see the fine work over here, and that just looks like fine cobbing right there. So we definitely got a bunch of exposed bag areas here. But this is not unusual, unfortunately, during heavy rains.
And some of these areas are kind of thin, and it's mostly just on this north and kind of northwest side.
So those familiar with our channel kind of already know, like every time we get a rainstorm, there's always a little bit of patching. And then I know there's frustration on people's parts, like, hey, you got to get that protected. We know. Trust us, we don't want to keep patching this up during every rain.
It just takes time.
This has definitely been a project and a half. I don't know if you realized how much work this would be for two people.
Probably not, but I'm the kind of person that, I'm
We-
pretty stubborn.
We dream big and we're stubborn, so
I just find joy in what we're doing, so I don't mind the work.
I understand a lot of people want their dream home and they want to get into it ASAP, but this is a home, but it's probably going to be a lifelong project. I can see us kind of just working on this for years and years, just getting everything just the way we want it and making it a personal touch.
Yeah,
Give it those personal touches.
It's not just about the house, it's about the whole lifestyle.
It's not the destination, but the journey, right?
Yep.
Should we take them inside?
Yeah.
So, have you noticed anything significant happen here on just like the inside of the dome here? What did you notice?
I noticed something in the loft area. I did have the loft kind of fixed up and cleaned up, and I use it as my quiet space. I do meditation there. I do a little painting and crafts up there. And so I was a bit dismayed when I found this after the storm. So there's these mud spots in a few places, and you can see it looks like water was dripping, and it's probably splashing and kind of muddy water getting on the floor here.
Now that's not good. You don't want to see water leakage in a home. Where's that coming from?
I believe it is coming from the boards that are going all the way through the wall. So there's probably little gaps, like maybe underneath the boards where water's leaking through.
It's interesting. The bags themselves are really solid.
Yes.
But once you start putting in pipes and boards, just a good thing to know that until that's sealed up, you could get water leakage from those areas.
Yeah, until we get that lime plaster covering the whole outside, I think we're gonna get those leaks around the boards.
Those boards will need to get cut and plastered over.
I think there's a little bit of the same thing going on around the boards at the lower level. So you can see kind of like muddy water running down the walls a little bit. One thing I'm kind of glad that this isn't like a wood house or something. We have these kind of leaks that might do a little more damage. Like if the earth bags get wet, they'll just dry out and it's fine.
Now, this is probably something that most people are probably concerned about. They're probably concerned about the foundation of the dome and then the lower underground portion. And I came in after the damage to the root cellar, and I didn't see any water here on the inside of the dome.
Yeah, as far as like around the floor and the foundation, everything seems
Solid.
yeah.
Like even during a heavy rainstorm, after the rainstorm, there's no standing water around the base of the dome. All that got funneled into the root cellar, right?
Yes.
And everything is pretty dry in here except for maybe a little bit of leakage, but nothing that's going to like cause foundation issues.
Right.
Now people are wondering about the underground portion. Are we going to have issues there? Let's take them down below.
Okay, yeah, I have actually not been down there yet.
So for those of you that don't know, I did the electrical in here and I installed this nifty kind of fan light down there so it all works by remote. Unfortunately, it's kind of weak, so I kind of have to get down there and like turn it on, but it works. So I'm pleased to report that everything is dry as a bone down here. Probably the driest part of the dome. I haven't noticed any leaks. There's no damage from the storm. These bags are dry, solid. It's fine.
That's a big relief.
Yeah. So, I mean, those other walls, you know, that underground portions got wet. That wall collapsed. But down here, everything is fine. It's solid. Nothing is out of, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it certainly looks fine.
So I think, like, if we were to see something, it probably would have been maybe on this wall, because this is where, probably that same area where the downspout was from the eaves. So, like, if the ground were to get wet and there'd be some kind of damage, you'd probably see something from here. But again, super dry, super solid. Very cool, y'all. Fan on. All right. Stop. All right, let's get out of here. I know after the root cellar, people were concerned. People had questions, so we just kind of wanted to detail that a little bit.
I just want to make it clear that what happened with the root cellar is not...
It's not a failure of the build style.
Yeah, it doesn't indicate a weakness of the earthbag building technique. It took a tremendous amount of water and force to do what that did, and like basically it was like a mini mudslide, I think.
Yeah.
So that was a failure on our part to deal with that rain and that runoff effectively. I didn't want all that rainwater just coming down right near the foundation of the dome.
So I put that IBC tote in there. Problem with that, though, is it fills up in seconds.
It's a pretty small IBC tote, and there's a lot of rain that comes off the top of the dome.
And then we didn't have plans for overflow after that. That was the issue. So it all funneled down into the root cellar. Luckily, a neighbor of ours reached out to us. Actually, I reached out to him. He made an offer a while back that for us to use his tractor whenever we have a need for it. And when that root cellar collapsed, I was like, we have a need. He was more than willing to let us use it. So I'm excited. I've been playing around with the tractor, and I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on. And a lot of people have been suggesting swales out here. Well, some people might be surprised at all that's going on out here. So stay tuned for that. Permaculture Earthworks coming up, y'all. Catch you in the next video, everyone. Bye. Chewing on your bone? Chewing on your bone?